Hi, Michelle LLC here. So excited because this is literally the first video for Orgasmic Living 1111. So what exactly is that? What does that mean? I know when I say orgasmic, I get a whole lot of reactions. A lot of them are like, really, Michelle? What are you up to now? And then there's the ones that are like, have you gone into the adult industry? What is going on? There's all different types of responses to the word orgasmic because of the fact that we have placed so much meaning on words in our society and in the world about what they mean in one area. So today, dun dun dun, we're going to talk about just that. Today is everything you need to know about orgasmic living. So let's first start by talking about a little bit, let's just kind of dive into the whole aspect of what we do from time to time. Now, I will tell you this. I don't have any editing software. I don't have all the bells and whistles. Obviously, I'm in my car, so I don't have a studio quite yet because I'm just gonna do this. This is what I've been called to do and share this information. So you get to watch from day one the growth and the changes of what my practice is and what the practice of many is to see how to go from point A to point awesomeness, right? All right, so looking at orgasmic living is really coming to an understanding about the balance between the body, mind, and spirit. And understanding that everything on this planet has a energy flow going through it. It's called a vibration. And a lot of times you'll hear people talking about alignment. And when they're talking about alignment and being where are you vibrating and what's the vibration of something, and if you're vibrating on the same level, then you can bring it in or you detract it out. Well, those are all very true statements, but a lot of times it leaves people with like this, what are you talking about feeling? Because if you don't know what they're talking about, it just sounds like a whole bunch of scientific or science fiction is a better word, kind of magical weirdness. And so I just want to kind of break it down a little bit. If we understand that there is the body, that there's something breathing this body, like my body on its own is not just moving on its own. There's something guiding it. There's something working it. And so on the level of flesh, there's a brain that is saying breathe. There's a brain that is telling my heart to pump. There is a brain that is moving my fingers. But behind the brain, if you go into what is the mind, that is the soul. That's where the body, the mind, the spirit, that's where, these things all connect in here somewhere, right? So I say this because when you understand that your body is being operated through something way bigger, just like everything else around you, through an energy, we start to understand that energies have different levels and powers. So I'm going to start with love and hate. Love is a very powerful energy and it vibrates at a very high level. But the one thing that's really interesting is love and hate are the same energy. They just vibrate on the different levels of the spectrum. So one is a very powerful, and we'll name it on the positive side of bringing good feelings in, where it's like it lifts you up. Whereas hate is more on a negative side. So it's on a lower level and it makes you feel bad. And it creates a lot of just destruction around you when you're in that space. So when you understand that there's these different vibrations, that if you're looking for a relationship, you need to be putting yourself in a state where your higher vibration is here versus down here where you're vibrating on a higher level. This is really important because then you will start to emit the things that you're desiring, and those things will be attracted in because you're a reflection of them. So still, what is the orgasmic living about? Well, our highest state of vibration is one when we're in that orgasmic state. And so on the flesh, the moment that we obtain that, it's more of a sample for something to motivate us forward, to propel us into action, right? So that moment where you have gone through the different steps of cultivating a thought, then feeding a feeling, and then creating an action that has an outcome that's like, oh my gosh. When you do that, you actually get to experience that orgasmic energy level. But this is the thing. That is a flesh moment. And so it's real small. It's just a sample. I like to say it is kind of like going to a restaurant where the food is absolutely amazing. It's the best in the world. And they give you a little sample. I'm like, oh my gosh, so good. But then you find yourself hungry and starving and you're like, oh my gosh, I need more. When you go to the door, you can't get in because you don't have the right clothes and you don't have the right resources and funding to be able to buy the food. So when we deal with that orgasmic energy on the flesh level, it's a sample. So then when we incorporate our mental mind understanding of meditating and doing different things to really be mentally intentional about where our energy is, and we start to say, hey, you know what? This moment right here didn't feel good. I'll give you an example. I recently met somebody and had a really good time with the person. And it was really great energy that was created. But then the person kind of like didn't respond back to me very quickly. And in that moment where I didn't hear from them, I kind of started feeling like, well, you know, maybe they didn't really like me. Maybe that it wasn't this, maybe nonsense thoughts. And immediately I became very aware that I was starting to do the nonsense thoughts of I'm not enough, I'm not valuable. And so I stopped and I said, that's not true, Michelle. How about what happens if they actually are doing things and right now they can't talk to you? You're creating this whole scenario that isn't even accurate. So I stopped in that moment intentionally and wish them well. You know what? Oh my gosh, it felt so much better to think about how awesome connecting with them was and how wonderful I look forward to connecting with them again if they're available, or drawing more people like that into my life. And I started to really be powerful around the fact that I was joyful at the experience, and I continue to feed that joyful energy, which is really powerful because right after I switched that energy, I met like 4 or 5 more people that were really amazing and we're doing some great things together as well. So if you stay in a place of intentional planning with your emotions and you're really paying attention, do I feel good or am I starting to feel bad? And really identifying why you're feeling bad, what are those things going on, then you will keep yourself elevated because you can release those things and move into a place that is higher, which is going to open up the doors for you to be able to experience more. Now, there is also the spiritual aspect of this, where now I'm meditating and I'm asking the Spirit to come into my space. I am asking the Spirit to heal the things that I sometimes don't even know are taking place in my own life, that are keeping me blocked from being dynamic. Like this video right here. I said, I've got to get out there and do something. And I saw a 7-day challenge on putting your information out there and getting going. I said, you know what? I'm taking this challenge because I know I need to. And I actually had already been asking to do so. So it's like these things come to you to say, let's do this, Michelle. Let's make this happen. And then if we are open, we'll see them as blessings and get excited and start what is been waiting for us. So when you start really going into that spiritual place where you really are spending time with the spirit within you, because it all resides within you, and you get to a place within you where you recognize you are more than enough, that the love within you for yourself is available and is there and has always been there. It's outside forces or beliefs or thoughts or trainings or teachers or people that have made you feel a certain way because you weren't in control of you. And once you take responsibility to say, I choose how I feel, I choose what I do, I'm 100% responsible, and I ask to be released from these things that are not beneficial for me. I'm going to go ahead and do a powerful thing for me and choose me and love me. Once you're able to do